Hey, Nirad.
Hey, we're going live now. It's 1 minute.
Yeah, I.
Hello. Okay.
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So sorry about that. So I think yeah, I think there was some issues over there. So let me just start again and
Okay.
perfect. All right, perfect. So, like I was talking about, DevSprint is about introducing new projects, introducing open source projects in the Python domain. And at PyCon India, we're trying to promote this. We're trying to promote the culture as much as possible to have new contributors contribute more and more to open source projects over here. To it, we have a few projects who are on here and will be on for the entire night throughout till tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. IST. We have been working on some of really cool projects, and to get started, we have Himanshu over here, who will be talking about his project Drf-user, which is the framework user. Himanshu, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Anirudh, for introduction and also for providing such a nice platform for getting open source contributors. And since morning, we already have seen few pull requests from individual contributors with whom we have never worked in past before. So this is amazing. Now, I've shared my screen here. If you guys can see it, so the project Drf-user is basically is a Django application built over Django REST framework and Django that provides a nice, easy to install interface for with a customized user app model and a few views and admin panels associated with it. So the need arise when I was like doing a lot of projects in Indian consumer centric. I was building Indian consumer centric apps, and there was this requirement that users should have mobile number and OTP validated and allow login using mobile number and OTP and whatnot. Apparently, I was using the same application in a lot of applications in the projects that I was building. So I decided to extract it out and package it as a Django, DRF library. And yeah, so basically what it does is that very easily you can install it. It's all there in the documentation. What it does is that you can in a few very simple few steps you can actually install the entire application that provides JWT based login mechanism and also provides to some extent the configuration which we are hoping to extend this in future. And such as you can toggle mobile validation requirement and email validation requirement and OTP characteristics and everything like that. And along with this, it provides a few bunch of pre-installed URLs. So we also have API documentation here. So like you have post register API, login API. You can get account details. You can update account details. You also have login with
Himanshu, would you, sorry to interrupt, you might want to make the screen bigger or maybe zoom in a bit. It would be more visible.
Okay, I'm sorry. I shared it on my bigger screen. Is it visible now?
Yeah, sure. Like there's a lot of width that we can use. So please go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is like read docs, and I'm not sure how to customize that, but yeah, feedback taken. We'll take care of that.
I understand.
Yeah.
No,
so
please go.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't think this will be visible either. Then in that case, is it visible now?
It is. We can just increase the font a bit so that it becomes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not really used to code spaces yet. So yeah, I mean, the idea is that you get a lot of pre-built views inside the application, and which actually saves a lot of time. Like if you're building any application on REST framework, you'll need login API, register API. You may even need OTP API. We have this OTP reg login API. Like in new apps, you must be seeing that just simply log in with OTP, it will create your account if it's not there. Yep. So I built this like around like 2 or 3 years ago, and there are a lot of scope of improvement. I've not very thoroughly followed PEP guidelines out there. So yeah, we've been looking for open source collaborator on this part and on documentation as well. Yep, and moreover, the entire application provides you admin panel and everything into it. Like you literally have to just follow a simple installation of steps that takes hardly 32 seconds to 1 minute, and you'll have the entire thing with test cases ready in your application. Now, this is really small. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say that if you know Django basics and DRF basics, it's actually somewhere between the complexity of the app is basically between 2 or 3. So if you're just starting with open source, you can just get started with this application. In fact, we had Antariksh contributing on this application, who has started on Django, and we are relatively very recent, and he's just like a 9th-class student. So he's also enjoying to contribute in the open source. And we already have created a lot of issues which we want to work with, and also we have done the due diligence required for tagging Hacktoberfest and whatnot. And more recently, Sumit has been leading, spearheading the entire open source project. So yeah, I mean, guys, hop in. Like if you're just starting with Django and you want to know how to package a Django application and want to work on something really simple, just start contributing. And I mean, that's Drf-user. And one more thing, why to use Drf-user? Why not any other thing? We actually built Android library to integrate this, actually to integrate the entire Django REST framework API into Android with ease. We are building the same stuff in Flutter basically, and we'll be building same thing even in React. So basically, it will become very easy to integrate any DRF API in your front-end application, and it is going to by default support the mode of authentication and the entire user flow that Drf-user provides. So it's sort of a library that is providing entire ecosystem to get started with an application, which in which you can within 10 minutes you can start with your entire authentication component of the product with very ease and a high level of configurable configurations. So yeah.
Perfect. That's actually great. So for everybody who's just tuning in, we have a separate there's sprint sessions part over to your left. You can see that, and you can head over there. There are rooms for various projects which are created, and you can just and you can just join one or the other project and keep contributing towards it.
Yep. And thanks a lot again to all the volunteers and the entire PyCon India team and Anirudh for providing us this opportunity. And guys, whatever you have learned in the entire last 2 or 3 days in the PyCon, Dev Sprint is the basically hands-on for applying all of those things, and we are out here to help you. So yeah, feel free to join our Dev Sprint, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Himanshu. We will continue with the next project, and thanks so much, Himanshu. All right, so we'll just continue with the next project in a minute. We'll let them just join in.
Hey, hello. I don't know whether this is for everybody or is it
Yes, hi Jack. We are also live on YouTube. So great timing. Hello everybody. We are back with she'll be talking about her project TerminusDB. Chuck, please take it away.
Yeah, sure. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Yeah, every time I do that, it takes a while. So please hang on and sit back. So yeah, so this is TerminusDB. Yeah, sorry, this is tutorial actually. Yeah, I was clicking away. So yeah, so maybe I would do a quick introduction that I've done like slightly earlier. So if you have just joined, then yeah, just let me walk you through what we are doing today. So first of all, I think the first thing is that I want to stress that our project is beginners friendly because we have open issues that basically is a good way to start. Okay, so we understand that you know, open source is exciting. We all love open source, and we actually want more people to get started and start the journey of contributing to open source. And also, I really want people to even if you have contributed before, but like, of course, we want to introduce you to our project. So so yeah, there are a lot of ways that you could start. So first thing that we are contributing to the TerminusDB client Python. So we're doing Python. So TerminusDB is an open source graph database. So if you want to know a little bit about us, you can actually go to our website. I think first of all, I need to introduce you to what we are. Yeah, I've given a talk earlier, like in the conference, but it's not related to TerminusDB. So maybe it's good to just have a look. Yeah, so we are an open source graph database that you can do things like Git, but we have the Python client, so I think all of you will be interested in working on that. So it's free to, of course, it's free to download, it's free to have it. So for some of the issues that you work on, you may want to install it so you can test it properly, or if you want to try our tutorials, so to have more understanding, you could also download it. So there are different ways that you could download. You could, if you're using Windows or Linux, we will have a local app that you could run. If not, then if you have Docker, you can pull our Docker container by going to the Bootstrap repo and follow the steps there. Okay. Yeah. So this is the first thing. The other thing is that rewards. Let's talk about rewards. So we are Hacktoberfest friendly. So we opt in for Hacktoberfest. So what is Hacktoberfest? Is that you will get a chance to win a T-shirt if you make for, you know, recognized, for kind of approved, not merged, but like the maintainer need to approve your pull request or merged. Okay, so but what you're doing today, even though if you haven't finished it, we will make you qualified for a Hacktoberfest. Okay, so yeah, so this is a T-shirt that you could win. You have to make 4 qualified PR. So it's very easy. Just sign up, and then after you have fulfilled everything, then within this month, then yeah, you just give them your address and they will mail you the T-shirt. On top of that, my colleague promised me that everybody who contributed today could get a socks. So it doesn't need to be 4 pull requests. Like even just 1 pull request, or even if you open an issue, like if you found a bug, open an issue for us is also count as a contribution. So let me know your email address and I will get my colleague to contact you and then we can send you the socks. It's very cute. It's a cow duck sock. So if you see our website, you will see there's this like, you know, this little cow ducks everywhere. So I say it's still in documentation. Yeah. So this guy is our cow duck. So so yeah, you will have a little socks of him on it. So it's very cute and people love it. So yeah, if you have done anything, open an issue or you know, make a PR for us, then you are already qualified for some gifts. Okay, so that aside, so what we can work on today is that I would highly recommend anybody who started, before you make any pull request, if you have never done a pull request, I have already shared some links in the Zulip app under our TerminusDB streams. There is a there are all the links. Okay, so you could actually follow this to make a first pull request to a other kind of beginners repo that just just practiced. I would suggest everybody who never make a pull request on GitHub to try this. I know that you may be using GitHub for a while for your company, but because working in a company that is different, right? So you have direct access to the repo, you just push it there. But in an open source space, we all send PRs because the maintainer can't add all the contributors to the repo. So so yeah, if you have never done this before, please try to go and do this exercise. Again, link is shared to you. Okay, so go back to the issues. There are these two issues at the bottom. There's multiple contributors. These two issues I think is quite easy to start with, and also I'm looking for 2 people to do this. Multiple contributor means that everybody can come in and help. So what you need to do is just to come in and then check out this. We still have a lot to work on, especially on some of them. And then you just need to. Oh, I don't know why yeah, I've updated it, but but there's also like a smart query and Waco view that is 2 new script that is added. I may have to fix this as well. I've tried to fix it, but it's still missing some of the libraries. I don't know why. I have to check it, but but like we do have some new stuff that you need to work on. So someone is already working on smart query, but we still need someone to write documentation for our Waco view. So if you want to learn how to write a doc string, you can come and contribute. So the doc strings that we are writing, actually, I do have a tutorial for it. Yes, I do have some YouTube videos that talk about. So this is about type hinting. So yeah, I've done a lot of tutorials on stream. So there are all these like recordings that is quite informative. So this one is about writing docs in Python. So the link again is shared to you on Zulip. So yeah, so you could have a look first. If you are new to write documentation for Python, then I think you could maybe learn a thing or 2 from the tutorial. There are like different style of doc strings. There are actually we generate doc strings using Spring. So it's a library that's very common in Python projects. So yeah, you may want to know a little bit about it, so you can come and watch this video. So in our project, we are writing the doc strings in NumPy style. So a lot of projects that you're familiar with use NumPy style. For example, one of them is Pandas. I've contributed to Pandas documentation before. It's a little bit scary because Panda is a very big and popular project. So your PR may need to wait for a while before someone reviewed it. And also, if you make a mistake, there's a lot of back and forth going, and it takes you quite a long time. This is my experience last time when I contributed to Pandas. I was a beginner then, so it's a bit scary. But you can learn how to write doc strings with our repo, and I'm here today to help. And you can practice basically, and then in the future, if you want to contribute to Pandas documentation, then it will feel less scary, and then you will make less mistake, and it's faster for your pull request to be merged. Okay, so this is a perk of working with us. And yeah, so other thing that you can work on today is to work on the type annotation. Type annotation is here. Someone opened this issue, so I put some guidelines underneath here. Again, there's like step by step that should be fairly obvious, and there are different. We need a lot of type annotation because we haven't started type annotation when we start the project. So it's just recently we try to implement that. So we need a lot of help in doing that. And if you are a Pythonister, you're confident with Python, but you have never done type annotation, you would like to learn and give some practice, here you go. And again, I have a video to teach you type annotation. I have shared the link. You can watch that. And then after that, you got some idea, then you can come and use our project as a practice to start writing type annotation. I think there's a lot of, I think that's why I love doing this sprints, because you can learn something and you can practice. So these 2. And then I also have opened a new issues that people can write test for me. Again, this Waco view is a new thing. It's written by me, and I'm such a lazy person that is missing. Yeah, it's missing a lot of tests. Yeah, actually, I don't know whether I can assign people to the tickets, but if you comment like this person here, then basically, if someone see that you have commented and don't get someone's ticket. If someone commented they want to work on it, give them a chance, okay? Because the thing that I don't want to do is to have two pull requests work on the same thing and I have to choose one over another. That would make me sad and make you sad as well. So don't do that. Please, if you want to take something, check that no one has already taken it. Then you can comment and say that you would take it, and then yeah, just try to find something that nobody has taken to work on. So there's a few things. Actually, I just think that maybe then another thing that I can let you do to win some Caldex socks is to work on our tutorial project, because what happened with our tutorial project is that we haven't updated for a while, and yeah, so yeah. We are just super busy. We are a small team, but we develop very, very quickly. And so we don't have a lot of time to maintain everything. So we have a tutorial repo. There are some scripts there, but not all of them are updated. So again, I will try to be more organized and then share all this information with links and everything in Zulip. But I'll just give you a quick look for now. Yeah, so we have a lot of tutorials here. You can see like each folder basically is a tutorial. So some of them are more organized than the other. It really depends on who is writing it. Of course, you know, if you know me, I'm not the most organized person in the world. So so that's why you can come in and go, for example, if you're interested in, let's say, the NLP, okay, Spacey, if you're using Spacey, I think this is a perfect one for you. And you can play around with some of these tutorials. And if you see something that doesn't work, you can open an issue and say that it doesn't work. It counts as a contribution to get our socks. If you want to make a pull request, so it also counts towards. So I would also make this repo Hacktoberfest. Okay. Oh, frame rate is dropping. Yeah. Okay. So I think all you need is to. Oops. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I just repeat what I just said. Yeah, so if you want to contribute, so your work also count as a contribution to towards Hacktoberfest. I'll make this repo also Hacktoberfest friendly, so your contribution also count. But you have to open a pull request. So yeah, just fix something for us. So I think if you really want to contribute to the tutorials, so first of all, if you found, try to work on one of these tutorials. But of course, you have to download TerminusDB. But why not? It's a free tool that is good. So yeah, download TerminusDB. Try some of these tutorials. Download the Python client as well. So try some of these tutorial. Skip the JavaScript. You just try the Python script. If you found something that doesn't work, open an issue. You already win a socks. And then if you want to fix that issue, just once you open an issue, give me a shout or something. I will try to help you to work to fix the problem, and then you can make a PR, and then you win 1/4 of a t-shirt. Okay, so yeah, so that's another thing that you can work on. Again, I will share all the information. I'll make this Hacktoberfest friendly, and then I would post all the links and maybe open some just some instructions of how to work on it in Zulip. So yeah, and I will see you throughout the day, maybe later as well if there's another introduction sections. Check out all the videos, all the resources if you have never done it before, if you want to get started, and enjoy hacking. Please make sure that after you have make an issue or PR, send me your email address so we can send you the socks. Okay. So yeah, I will give the next project leader to give the presentation then.
Perfect. So yeah, I hope we don't have to do another of the introductions, but definitely, if any of you want to contribute to TerminusDB, there's a really exciting project. Do visit TerminusDB Dev Sprint room over in the Dev Sprint session. Thank you so much, sir, and we'll look forward to interacting more in the TerminusDB session room. So we'll start with the next project. Let me just check if the speaker has checked in. Perfect. Nikhil is here. Hello, Nikhil. So Nikhil will be talking about his project SymPy. Nikhil, over to you.
Thank you. So my name is Nikhil Man. I'm available everywhere on the internet with Scorpion 101 with 0 instead of MPO. Let me share my screen first. So I can see, I'm guessing I'm sharing the screen. And please ignore the absurd amount of tabs I have. SymPy, we are a Python library for symbolic mathematics, and we are trying to become a fully featured computer enabler system one day. So, like if you use NumPy and Matplotlib and say Mathematica, anywhere you know that they are used to perform higher order mathematical calculations, but with pure data and numbers. We do the same thing, but with symbols, like you do actually in your mathematics in your university or your school or somewhere. Wherever you do mathematics, you use symbols like X, Y, A, B, C. And so we do symbolic calculations in mathematics. And this is our website, sympy.org. You can go there and read about all our features and development and stuff. And this is our GitHub repository. It is github.com/sympy/sympy. And you can read more about SymPy here. There are instructions how to download this. We are available everywhere. The standard libraries are available on PyPI and on Corda. You can also download tars and debs from our GitHub repository. There are instructions on documentation usage. You can read them, installation instructions and contributing instructions. All of the instructions. And you also have a paper about SymPy. You can read it on this link. You can find this link on our GitHub repository as always. And for our communication channels, we have a Gitter channel for async communication, faster async communication. Most of our developers are generally active there. You can go and talk to people. If you have any problem, you can post it there. And we also have a mailing list in Google groups. All of these links will be available in Zulip and in the open room we have. So now moving over to the project, we have all of these modules that you can work on. You can find your what do you call whatever area of maths or physics you like this. Like we have everything from algebra, calculus. So core is how our core system works. Differential geometry, functions, normal geometry, integrals, and number theory, physics. We have some physics things. We have tensors, vectors. So you can go look at a repository and find what area you find interesting and contribute to it. As you can see at the top, we have 3.5K issues and 400 open pull requests. So we would love your contributions, any contributions you have. We have some easy to fix issues. We don't have a lot of easy to fix issues, but there are some that you can get started with. But suggest you that you go to the module that you like and find the issues and pull requests for that module. That would be a way better way to get started with SymPy than finding easy to fix issues. We also have some pull requests from a long time ago that the maintainers or the contributors cannot contribute to anymore. They have some other work. So you will have the please take over label. You can work on them too if you have time. Other than that, we have the wiki page on the same repository. github.com/sympy/sympy. You can find more information about the project on the wiki page. We have a lot of information, including the next two things, which are the contributing guide, introduction to contributing. We have some information about SymPy, and the other information is about how where all our repositories are, what all we do, how you can contribute to anything. And the next guide, the other guide we have is how to set up your development environment or development workflow. It has all of the information about which licenses we use, how do you set up your environments, what Pepsi follow, which is Pepe and Pepe. And if you are new to Git, you can also find some basic information about how to set up Git and how it works. Also, as you know, Chooks here, great PPT, you can also use that. So the most important part of the development environment is setting up your virtual environments, because you can use your system base system to solve all the dependencies, but that will just clutter your system. So we suggest that you use any virtual environment, either virtual NV, pip, or Conda, whatever you like. So in Conda, it's very simple. You use this one command, Conda create -n, name of your environment, and you only have two dependencies. So basic Python 3, mpmatch is the first dependency, and flake8 is the second dependency. Then after creating this environment, you can activate and work on this however you like. We have two tests. One is basic tests for all the modules, and second is the dog test. So please make sure you run all the tests, and all of the tests pass before you submit your pull requests. This is our documentation. Just go to docs.sympy.org. You'll find the documentation about all the modules, all the functions, everything we do about it. There's also a SymPy tutorial in this documentation. If you're new to SymPy, you can go through it. And then at the last, if you want to contribute to this documentation, we have a documentation style guide that you should follow if you want to contribute to our documentation. You can read what we use for our documentation, what style we use, how you can install all the dependencies for the documentation, and how you can contribute to it. And at last, that was more or less about the project. Now I'll be available in the SymPy dev sprint session room. Dev sprint ends tomorrow at 8:30, so I'll be there till 8:30, except when I have to sleep for a few hours, because everyone has to sleep. And sorry, you can come there, you can hang out there, come there with your favorite music you like to code with, and you can hang out. If you want to have any discussions, if you want to ask anything about coding, general programming, open source, Git, Python, SymPy, anything, I'll be there chilling and working on my pull requests. You can come together, work on some code, and work on or contribute to open source together. So that was my introduction.
So much, Nikhil, and for a wonderful introduction on SymPy. Like you mentioned, definitely visit the SymPy dev sprint room if you're looking forward for it. And he'll be there. He's there available on Hopin and as well as on Zulip. Thank you so much, Nikhil.
Thank you.
So next up, we have the project Kedro. So for Kedro to introduce, we have Les and Tam over here. Les and Tam, you can just come online over here. And yeah, we are on. So I'll leave it to you guys to take it forward.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly fine.
It doesn't sound like okay. I can't hear Tam, and it doesn't.
Yeah, we can't really hear you, Tam. Probably just check the audio settings. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? No? Yes? Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Now it's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Hello?
Sorry.
All right, now it's perfectly fine.
Great.
Do you have
doesn't work.
this? Well, we can hear you perfectly fine.
Let me see. You can hear me.
Yes, we
Everyone
can hear you.
Wonderful. I cannot hear anyone though.
Oh.
So
All right,
we can do this in yes. Okay, I can't hear anyone. Actually, let me get YouTube sound. I think that would sort out our issues. Just 1 second. I'm really sorry, everyone.
Yeah, but there would be a bit of lag over there. But yeah, I guess we can manage. So I'll leave you guys to introduce the project.
So now
Kedro.
YouTube has a big lag. So okay, so I'm gonna do this in one way. It's gonna be just I'm just gonna talk a little bit, and then Tam is gonna take over. But for now, let me just share screen. Cool. So here we go. I'm not going to go into presenter mode just because, well, I Cool. So, welcome everyone that just joined. I have here with me introducing Kedro, Mr. Data Engineer 1. Welcome, Tam.
Hello, hello.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what Kedro is and what we're trying to accomplish. And then you're welcome to just join us on the channel. So first of all, a little bit about me. So my name is Lais. I'm the developer advocate for Quantum Black and the maintainers of Kedro. There's a little bit more about me and then the places that I was doing. Oh, let me just close this. I didn't notice that we had the messages on the screen. So yes, and I did a little bit of volunteering around the Python world as well. So you might know me. I know a few of the PyCon India organizers because we work together on FlaskCon. And this here is Pyjamas. It's a conference, it's a Python conference that you can present wearing your pajamas. So if you want to be part of it, just come and talk to me after this. We'll be more than happy to tell you everything about it. And so just a little bit about what we're going to do today. I will just tell you a little bit about Quantum Black, then a little bit about Kedro, and then we're going to invite you to contribute. And so first of all, Quantum Black. So Quantum Black is an advanced analytics company. We were born out of Formula One. So basically what that means is that our co-founders used to do advanced analytics on F1 racing. And then one day they just thought, oh, what about if we apply those knowledge into business? And that's exactly how Quantum Black was born. We were acquired by McKinsey 4 years ago. You can't see my screen anymore. I don't know what's going on. We're having loads of issues today. Okay, so I think you can see my screen now again. And let me just, I don't know what's going on, but well. Yay, you can see my screen again. Cool. So let me jump to Kedro then. So Kedro is an open source Python library maintained mostly by Quantum Black. So we are an open source, we are enterprise open source, which means we do most of the development with a roadmap internally, but we love contributors. So yeah, that's the reason why we're here. Kedro allows you to write data pipelines. There are all those things that you're seeing over there. So they're consistent, scalable, robust, reproducible, and deployable. Basically, what Kedro tries to solve, the problems that Kedro tries to solve are when you're developing your project and you have those really, really long Jupyter notebooks that you can't actually get a grasp of what's going on. So we try to avoid that issue, number one, those loads of hard-coded file paths and projects that are not able to be shared, and the team cannot necessarily work together on it. The other problem that we try to solve is the lack of standards working within a team and the challenging communication. So the issue when you have loads of people working on the same project, and then each member of the team has a different folder with their different scripts, and each one, every time that they have the same data, they try to run the code, and the code is not reproducible, which means there is a different result for every time that they run the code in a different environment, and it's a mess. Spaghetti code everywhere. And well, scaling spaghetti code is not fun. We all know that. And this is another issue that Kedro tries to solve. The whole cyclical experimentation cycle, when you have, when you're rewriting your code from a Jupyter notebook into an IDE, and you need to keep experimenting and deploying and then analyzing to see what's the output, and then experimenting again, and trying to make sure that everything is production ready. But each one of these cycles can take weeks, and well, that's not necessarily what we wish. Instead of that, what we wish to have is a linear workflow, and this is what Kedro allows you to have with standards, with software engineering standards and best practice. And so basically the way that Kedro works is we have a project template that is generated with Kedro New, and it's based on cookie-cutter data science. And then we have configuration. We have a configuration folder where you can put your code, you can put all your settings and your parameters and your credentials, and you can remove all those hard-coded file paths from your Jupyter notebooks. Then we have a data catalog. There is basically a data connector. There is a YAML file that you can just hard code all your file paths in that for your data. And every time that you type Kedro run, the project is going to look in that file first to see where your data is. And then we have nodes and pipelines. So nodes is basically a Kedro wrapper to a Python function, and then a collection of those nodes with dependencies is then a pipeline. Now I'm gonna get to Tem, and Tem is Mr. Data Engineer 1 over here, and he's gonna tell us everything about, well, his YouTube channel, and then a little bit about Kedro community as well. So welcome, Tem.
Hello, thank you, Lais. Yes, so my name is Tom, also known as Tam. I'm known as Data Engineer 1 on YouTube. I make videos around data engineering, data sciencing, and mainly data pipeline creation. I've been doing data engineering for a majority of my career in computer science. I started at Palantir, where I worked for several years as a forward deployed engineer, and that's where I cut my teeth in data engineering. And this was actually before data engineering really became a thing. So I definitely understand where a lot of people are coming from when they are first approaching this kind of career. And that's why I decided to start this YouTube channel in order to help people learn more concepts about data engineering. And in particular, I focus on Kedro. And so Kedro, as Lais gave a fantastic introduction, is such a powerful tool for writing data pipelines. It allows you to encompass all aspects of best practices in software engineering, plus this fluidity and this kind of flexibility that data pipelines need in order to cater to all these sorts of different sources. And in addition to the YouTube channel, Lais, if you can go to the next slide, we actually have just recently started a Kedro.community forum. And so as Kedro has been growing more and more, it's been pretty necessary actually to kind of gather a lot of the opinions and a lot of the people from the community to help discuss topics, ask questions, give answers, and kind of just collaborate around Kedro. And Kedro is really a fantastic piece of software. It's one of my favorite pieces of software for data engineering. And in fact, actually, it's becoming so popular nowadays that even in Quantum Black, when we get resumes from people applying for data engineering and data science jobs, they actually put Kedro on their resumes. So it's actually becoming really popular. I think we have about 3,000 stars on GitHub. We're just about the 3,000 mark. So it's a fantastic community. Everyone, we have a dedicated team that maintains Kedro, like on behalf of Quantum Black, and they're the ones that go through the review process. They look at the pull requests, and they're very, very welcoming and very kind. And I myself, like, I'm not even on the team, and even before I joined Quantum Black, I was already making pull requests into Kedro, and they were very willing and happy to take all of the requests that we have. In terms of the sprint that we're going to be doing, we actually do have a few different issues that we have made available to us, and they're of different varying difficulties. And so there's going to be something for everyone to tackle. And I think Lais can talk a little bit more about that. Oh, there it is right here. Thank you so much. And as you can see, these range from documentation writing to new data set support, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's a lot of fun to be had with this project. It's very well organized. The team is very well structured. And the stuff that you write really does go into production. We have, like, I can't exactly quote how many companies use Kedro. That would be a little bit of breach of contract on my part. But we do have, I think actually, there's a few companies outside of Quantum Black that also use Kedro. With Quantum Black, we've definitely left Kedro behind, and so many people, more and more people are picking it up every day. And in fact, we actually were just recently in the GitHub archive in the Arctic project. So I have a little tag now on my GitHub profile that says I have a piece of code that's been frozen in the great icy tundras of the United States. And I mean, not the United States, of the world. Yeah, there it is, Arctic Code Vault contributor. Lais also has one. So Kedro is definitely an up-and-coming project. Highly encourage you come and join the community if it's your first time or your 20th time creating a pull request to an open source project. We're constantly moving. We constantly have work that can be done, and we're constantly being used. I mean, I use it every day. I literally use Kedro every day of my job and even outside of my job. And like, for example, the YouTube videos, I literally just make those because I find Kedro very fun. And I also find helping out other data engineers and data pipeliners very fun too. So you can find, thank you, Lais, you're reading my mind. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/dataengineer1, everything all spelled out. And then you can also check out our community discourse at kedro.community. That's HTTPS kedro.community. And if we can go ahead to the next slide, I think we just have a few more slides left that I can cover here. If you guys contribute, we have swag. I'm not even offered the swag. So this is really a special offer. I don't think I have any swag, actually. So despite all the work that I do with this team. But yeah, we also have this cool list. I think one of our Quantum Black colleagues has actually created a Spotify list called the Kedro Lounge. It's just music that you can listen to while you data pipeline. I think it's really great stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, exactly. And of course, we're hiring. We're actually hiring all over the world, including India. But we've got Switzerland, United Kingdom, United States, Canada, Australia, Brazil, Singapore. That's actually where I am, and Japan. So if you guys apply to the Singapore office, I'll be your interviewer. Let me know. We'll talk a little bit. But we're looking for everyone from data engineers, data scientists, machine learning engineers, as well as software engineers. So yeah, I hope to see you guys at the sprint. Come join us. We would love to have you. You can get some free stuff, and you can contribute to a code base that is really growing month by month. It's just such a phenomenal team, phenomenal software, and a phenomenal product. So thank you very much for listening to me talk, and thank you very much, Lais, for your presentation.
No, thank you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, cool. Come to some pull requests.
That was absolutely brilliant. It was, in fact, I'm really psyched. And everybody, if you want to contribute to Kedro, do visit the Kedro room. They are also very active on Zulip, so both the channels work. And yeah, happy hacking. Thank you, Les. Thank you, Tam /Data Engineer 1. When we look forward to check out more very soon. So moving on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Moving on, we have Ashhan next. And he's just joining in. And Ashhan will be talking about his project Interlock in about just a couple of seconds. Give him. All right, so he's just tuning in. In the meantime, do definitely check out our Zulip channel. It's very active, and you will find most of the discussions on the 2020/DevSpread channel, and that should give you a round of things. There's a lot of issues open right now in all of the projects. A couple of projects probably won't be able to join right now, but they have been active since morning. They'll also be active tomorrow. So feel free to join anytime. We'll be on overnight. So yeah, let's just wait a couple of more minutes for Ashhan. Oh, also, I just forgot to mention this at the very beginning. If you're working on something which is not like if you're working on some of your own projects, which is open source and in Python, open source is extremely necessary. Python or not, it might just use some of the libraries in Python. It might be specific to Python in some other way. But yeah, you can definitely bring in your projects as well. We have a couple of open streams which you can just get started with your project, introduce, and let people know on the event chat that you're here with your project, what your project is about, and you can get started. So okay, we have Ashan here. Hi,
Yeah.
Ashan.
Hello.
So yeah, please go ahead, and the stage is yours for Interlock.
Yeah, okay. So I'm Shan. I'm currently an engineering student. And so I started with Interlock as part of Google Summer of Code. If you haven't heard of Google Summer of Code, it's a program by Google where students get to contribute on an open source project for 3 months and get paid quite a good amount of stipend. And it looks good on resume, but mostly do it for open source because open source is awesome. So coming to Interlock, Interlock is a cybersecurity tool, but like since this is PyCon, I wouldn't go too much into cybersecurity details because you don't really need to know much about cybersecurity to get into it. How can I share my screen, Anirudh?
There's an icon right at the bottom. There's you can see 3 icons there. The
Yeah,
third
okay. Yeah, is my screen visible? Can you just give me some feedback?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So
you might
as I
want
said,
to. I'm sorry. You might want to just zoom in a bit so that it comes very nice. Perfect.
yeah.
Please go ahead.
So yeah, as I said, Interlock is a cybersecurity tool. So it is mainly meant for companies with the cybersecurity team or just cybersecurity companies in general. So we help them in the way that if like it is an OSINT solution. If you haven't heard of OSINT, it's OSINT stands for open source intelligence. So like there are like it's 2020, we have too many cyber attacks going on. We have active malwares, we have active ransomwares. So like each company or each organization, they face these attacks and they just want to aggregate like so today in like September we have this very common attack going on and we want to protect our infrastructure against that. So threat intelligence tells them about that. Okay, it's September, there's this really threat going on, how can you protect against that? So every company, like if it's McAfee, it's VirusTotal, it's Shodan, like to name some of the big ones, they have these research teams. They research on new types of threats that are emerging, and they put it out there for anybody to use them and anybody to get those information, that knowledge to protect their own infrastructure. So what Interlock does is it collects all this information. It comprises of all these services and provides a single API that a developer or a user could use to get threat intelligence information. So I'll just show you a quick demo actually. Okay, so like say I'm a threat intelligence engineer. I am running a website and I see that okay, someone from some very random IP is bashing my server. So I want to get as much information about that IP as I want. So let me just pick up a random IP. I can be like, okay, I want to scan this IP address on the Auth0 service. I want to scan this on the DNSDB. I want to scan this on Grey Noise. I can just select, like, there are many of those. Or I can just select, like, I want to run all of those. I want to scan this IP address against all the services which are available in Interlock. So I will go and it will. So what Interlock will do is it will go through these services one by one. It will scan this IP address against all of those services and give you a aggregation of all that data. So I can see here like abuse IPDB return me this much information, and such that way I can go through all of these one by one. So like this is just for the web interface. So as I said, it's not just limited to the web interface. We also have an API for this. So like for that we have the Python client called PyInterlock, which is the let me just zoom in properly. Okay, so we have Python client, which you can use to call to the API. So you get all this data as like JSON, and then cybersecurity engineers can use different pipelines. They can use different tools to make sense of this data, because as you can see right now, this is just raw JSON. It does not really tell you much. But if this data is in the right hand of a cybersecurity engineer or a threat intelligence engineer who knows how to make sense of this data, they can really use it. So like the purpose of Interlock is that if a company wants to get threat intelligence data, they don't need to go and integrate a API or a service individually in their own set of tools. They can use Interlock, and they can use Interlock in a way that they can use it to query all of these analyzers. So just it's like a one-stop destination for all your threat intelligence needs. So I'll just literally show you the code now, because it's really easy to contribute. And the first time I made a contribution to Interlock, it only took me like 5 to 6 hours, and that's like 2 hours of installation. But you don't really need to go through that much now, because we also have a dedicated we also have a YouTube video on how to install Interlock. I'll share this link in the Hopin channel, so you can just get it up to speed. So yeah, okay. So as I said, like Interlock is composed of analyzers. So these are cybersecurity analyzers. These are services. These are APIs by companies like McAfee, by IBM, by Google, whose cybersecurity research team have exposed some or other service. So okay, I'll just show you the code. Let me just okay. So in the entire backend or core of Interlock is written in Python, and it is exposed as a REST API using the Django REST framework. So you don't really need to care much about Django, because like that functionality is already done, and there's not much to do there. But as I'll show you, like we have beginner friendly issues on the GitHub, and in these beginner friendly issues, we mostly care about adding new analyzers. Like there are new cybersecurity companies every day. There are new researchers. There are new threats, and they are creating open source tools or new services every day, and we want to keep Interlock up to date with all of those services. Right now in Interlock, we have about 80 or 90 services, and it's just a growing number. Like every week we try to add at least 2 or 3. So these beginner friendly are the ones which are really easy to add into Interlock. I'll just show you, like, okay, so this is tranco.py. So tranco is an analyzer for domains. If you give it a domain, it will tell you a lot of information about that domain. And as you can see here, it's just like 19 lines of code, and that's it. This is like we have designed Interlock in a way that any outside contributor or a new contributor can just like extend this base class, can create a new analyzer with it, and define one run function that just calls that particular API, whichever they want to integrate. So this is just like 19 lines of code, and that so you can like make a very meaningful contribution in just 19 lines of code. And once you have written this code, you just need to make an entry for it in this JSON file. So like I'll say if I'm integrating Tranco, I'll be like, I've integrated Tranco. I'll specify like I will give it a type, I'll give it a description. Yeah, I'll give it the path. Like the path here was script analyzers, observable analyzers, then Tranco. The Tranco was the module name, and then capitalized Tranco was the class name. So yeah.
So sorry, yes, and just to break it out. Yeah. So obviously we will have we have an Interlock test sprint room made where you can go in complete detail about what the Interlock project is all about. And here maybe we can just keep it to what is Interlock project and what people can expect from it, some of the open issues on it, if there are some contributing guidelines, how to commit the code. How to properly raise raise a PR and how to get them merged, basically. That would be great.
Yeah, okay. So like as I said, like there's this single repo. The all of the code is in Python. We have guidelines on contribution. We define the code style. We define like step by step on how you can add a new analyzer. So you can obviously report any issue you get on the GitHub. You can, as I mentioned, like there are beginner friendly issues. You can close those with pull requests. Mostly the beginner friendly issues are just adding new analyzers, because as I said, like adding a new analyzer is really easy. And if you want to contribute to the client, you can also contribute to it. It is in the same organization. It's named PyInterlock. It is the Python client and also a command line tool to interact with the Interlock server. So yeah, you could also contribute to the documentation here, because the documentation is quite lacking. So yeah, like this is just Interlock's PyInterlock's Python code. You could make you could make a, like, you could see the Django API on the server. You see that there's an API endpoint which is not called by the client, so you could make a new function here for that API endpoint. So there's a lot of room for improvements. There's a lot of room for contributions, may it be big or may it be small. Yeah, there's a video on how to install Interlock, which is really helpful for you. I don't know if I can maybe, so I think this is quite enough. And if you have any questions, I will be there on the Hopin channel to answer those. Yeah, and like we have also tagged the Interlock repository with the Hacktoberfest tag. So any PR you make, I will accept it. So you got your PR counted on the Hacktoberfest profile. I guess that's
perfect.
from my side.
So definitely go in more detail on the Desperate Room. Anybody who's interested in the Interlock, do join us, Ashan, in the Interlock Desperate Room. He'll be there, as well as we also have
one more thing I
a
wanted
Zulip
to.
channel.
Sorry.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like as I said, like this year I contributed to Interlock as part of Google Summer of Code, and we will be entering Interlock in Google Summer of Code next year. So if you're a student and you start contributing to Interlock from now on, or even sometime later, and you apply to Google Summer of Code next year, there's a really good probability that you will get accepted, because it's a really good program. So yeah, like if you contribute actively to Interlock, there's that chance too. Just wanted to say that because that's a really good opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashan, for joining in. And yeah, definitely do check out the Interlock project. So let's move. Thank you, Ashan. Let's move ahead with our next project, which is Zulip. We will have Puneet join in. So Puneet, like Zulip is the main communication platform that we have been using throughout our entire PyCon India, right from the planning stage to the execution stage, and also we have a help desk setup which was running throughout both the days of the conference, which was yesterday and day before yesterday. So it was really great. Puneet, if you are here, just share your audio and video, and we can get started.
Yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
All right. So Puneet is here. Hello, Puneet. Please go ahead.
You can hear me fine, right?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, awesome. Hello, everyone. I am Puneet. I contribute on and off for the Zulip project. I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of what Zulip is. It's the main communication chat channel that we are using to organize this conference. But in case you're not aware of what it is a chat client, somewhat like Slack or Discord or any platforms that you may have seen. But it has a unique topic-based trading model, which kind of makes it easy to catch up on messages when you're not around. And I really like it. I have been contributing to the project for 3 or 4 years now. And I've also been a mentor at the Google Summer of Code for Zulip in the last 2 or 3 years. That's about it. So I have listed the project on the wiki. I don't know if you have the link to it. I'll paste it in chat. Essentially, you can look at item number 9 in the wiki. It has most of the links that I want to share. I don't think I want to screen share it and show you all the links because it's going to take a while. I'll keep my presentation short. Essentially, Zulip has a server and a web app client and a bunch of other clients like the desktop application client, mobile client, and also a console-based client. And there are repositories for each of these. The web server is written in Django. The terminal client is written in pure Python. And there's an API client or an API wrapper in Python. And then there is the desktop app, which is written in Electron. It's an Electron app and a mobile React Native based client. So you could contribute to any of these repositories based on your skill levels. If you are a beginner to Python, I would recommend picking one of the smaller code bases. So the Zulip terminal code base is relatively small, and the API client code base is relatively small. You can also think about writing bots for Zulip, which do things that automate things that you would find interesting. If you're familiar with Django and stuff like that, you could look at the web server app. And yeah, based on your interest, you can also work on the desktop client or the mobile client. I've also linked to the contribution guide. Zulip, I think, has one of the best documentation among the open source projects that I have come across. And uh, yeah, the contribution guide is a good place to begin. There's links to all sorts of things like best practices for your commit messages and how to rebase, like Git help and how to pick a new issue and all of that. And how to set up your development environment. I have shared the links to all of those, the contribution guide and the development setup instructions on the wiki page. So I think you should be good enough. You should be good to get started if you look at the wiki and start looking at the two links that I've shared there. Yeah, apart from that, I will mostly be around on Zulip, especially because it has better notifications, so you can notify me and I can catch up on messages much easier than staying active on Hopin. But if somebody wants to pair on something, we can try to find a way to do that. Yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any questions or if you would like to like some help to get started and things like that, just join the Zulip Dev Sprint stream and ping me there, and I will help you get started. If you have any other questions, also feel free to just ping me on Zulip. That's it. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Puneet. Yeah, there's a lot of scope and there's a lot of stuff to work on, like Puneet mentioned, on multiple aspects. Zulip, do get in touch with him. He'll be available on Zulip itself. On the 20// there's a on the dev sprint stream, and there's also separate Zulip project stream. He can also take up some of the stuff from the Zulip room on Hopin, but probably just better to probably just best place is to reach out to him on Zulip itself. Thank you so much, Puneet. We'll look forward to that. And moving on to our
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So moving on, we have the final project to add for this introduction. We have Abhijit over here. Abhijit, do you want to share your screen and come up here?
Hello, good evening. Am I visible and audible?
Yes, you're perfectly fine, perfectly visible, and
okay.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead with your. All right, so Abhijit will be talking about his project Algo, which is great, given that it takes just picking up. Abhijit, please take it ahead.
Okay, so as you guys may know, that I put on my project Algo. for the PyCon dev sprint. So I'll be talking about Algo. I'll not be going into the detail of the code, because already I am available in the Zulip section, Zulip chat. So you can just contact me in case you want to contribute. I will just tell you about the project and what it's all about. So I'll be sharing my screen. Give me just 2 seconds. So I believe my screen is visible. And Anil sir, please, can you please confirm if my screen is
yes,
visible?
it's visible.
Okay, so thank you for the confirmation. So Algo is a simple Python package made with different Python scripts to study different algorithms. Like you guys know, right? The algorithms and data structures, these two things are the core principles of software development. I mean, if in case you are making any software and you want to enrich it, you want to optimize it, and you want to get a better scaling, you want to just develop your project to a better product, then you definitely need data structure algorithm. But the main thing is you need to learn data structure and algorithm. So my project is not an actual product which solves a real life issue that you have seen other projects, but my project is just for the learning purpose of different algorithms. Like if you go to the documentation page which is available, so you will find how to download the package. You can download it from PyPy server. Like I will show you. In case in PyPy Python package index, it's published. Pip install Algo is the command for pip installing, and for other installation, like if you want to install using Conda, you can install, and you can also download the tar file or zip file from the GitHub, or download the same files from PyPy as well. So this is how you install the package in your system. But to contribute in the package, you need to visit my GitHub repo, right? You can see here. I'll zoom in my screen to make it visible. So it's like it's actually my project, and as you can see, this project has been a part of FOSSHACK, which is free open source software hack, which happened 1 month before, and now it's part of PyCon dev sprint as well. Also, a YouTube video is available. Like you can see, this video is available. I will share the link in the Zulip chat section and in the Hopin chat section as well. So this 6-minute video is entirely focused on how the code works, how the hint method works, and every detail about my project that I have made during FOSSHACK. So you can just what you have to do to contribute. Like I have many issues opened here. Like today morning also we had a session, and some people sprint is the label for the issues. I've added issues, and you can add any algorithm of your choice. Like people have added 3 algorithms. Also, I think there are more algorithms to add. So people are adding the algorithms. I am very much thankful to the contributors. And how to actually add these algorithms? Like if you go to the project tree, like this is my project tree. There is a folder called Algo. I'll show you. You can see there is a folder called Algo, and inside the Algo folder there are different modules. Like you can see, these are the modules: algorithms.py, binary.py. In binary module, you have different binary algorithms explained well, and we have hint methods as well, which are, I just wanted to visualize the algorithmic concepts so that people can just, the users, the programmers, mostly beginners will use this project because it has no real life implications. But if some learner is using this project, then he or she must understand how the algorithm works. Like I've tried to visualize the things, properly with some proper hint methods. I have done that in every part of my project. So this thing can be viewed in GitHub as well. Like in GitHub, we have a Algo folder. You don't have to check into other folders because others are related to PyPy publications. So just go into the Algo folder and comment out to just contribute. You can just see the contributing.md file, which I have made long before. Just contribute. You have to do nothing. You have to go to the issue section and comment there. If you are interested, I would just assign you the issue, and I'm very fast at that, because if you are commenting is in the issue now, within 2 seconds you will get a reply. That's my promise. And if you are doing there is another thing as well. If you want to do any documentation work, like I have shown you the website, right? The documentation work can be done here. Like I have a GitHub organization as well, where my things are hosted. My page is hosted. The documentation part can be done there. If you are adding any algorithm and want to add the documentation of the same as well, you can do that. So this is how you are going to add into my project. And I'm very much glad, like I've received a lot of pull requests since morning, and I'm very much thankful for that. Thanks PyCon for giving me this opportunity. And that's all from my side for this project. And I hope everything is clear for the contributors now. Anirudh sir.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you for doing this.
Yes,
and for everyone else, Abhijit will be there on Hopin as well as on Zulip. I've seen that he's more
you
active
can.
on, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, you can. I am active on Zulip as well, and you can reach me out to through my LinkedIn channel as well, LinkedIn profile as well, because I am active on LinkedIn as well for the open source contribution. So no issues with that. You can just mail me. You can just contact me through any means, and I will be helping you out there, because I am here to learn, and I think everyone should learn from each other. In this a big conference is there, so everyone should learn from each other. So that's from my side.
Brilliant. And also 2 seconds is a crazy turnaround time. I'm almost tempted to test it out. But yeah, thank you so much thank you so much, Abhijit. And that's all the projects. That's all the project introductions that we had for you guys today. We will be live with all these projects for today and tomorrow. And like I also mentioned before, if you're working on something on your own, you can just bring on the different stream itself on Zulip, or you can start a new thread on Zulip. You can also reach out to one of us, and we'll create a new session for you guys where you can get started with interacting with everybody on Happiness. That's it. And happy Dev Sprint. Cheers.